What's going on, guys? United Gaming is back. Another MLB Show 22 video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to get better at pitching in MLB Show 22, and the best ways, the best pitches you should be throwing, where you should be throwing them, and how to strategically take an at bat. If you do enjoy today's video and do find it useful, make sure you like and subscribe. Best way to support the channel by far. So I basically created Garrett Cole into hypothetically the best possible pitcher we can get, in my opinion. Sinker, slurve, cutter, changeup, splitter. I feel like those are the best 5 pitches in MLB Show that you can use. You got the sinker and the cutter, which are the best 2. The slurve and the change, which are probably one of the 2 best main off speeds, and then a splitter, which can be very nasty as well if it's thrown hard. So we're going to basically go over each pitch and take a look at where you should throw them. Sinker, a huge thing is going to be locating up and in. I do need to change my settings real quick, so let's just throw this pitch. And it doesn't really matter where I throw it, so let's just throw it. Have Altuve hit a bomb out to center field, but you know, we're still going to catch it all day. Easy play there for Hicks. So we are going to quickly just change our settings so you guys get an idea. I feel like the best one I can show you is going to be classic on. So starting off in settings, I recommend if you're going to practice this in custom practice, go have your setting difficulty on all-star. Make sure you're practicing with pinpoint. Pinpoint is the best pitching method in the game, and if you're practicing without it, it's a really waste. So pinpoint is 100% the best pitching method in the game. I highly recommend you use it, or at least practice with it. Then for the pitcher view, what I recommend is either pitcher offset or strike zone 1. Those are probably the best 2 you want to use. So we're just going to go to strike zone 1 so you get an idea of what the hitter is seeing out of this. So next pitch we are going to throw is, alright, so we're actually going to throw the sinker, and you can see the way it's going to move. You can see the way it's going to move down and in towards him. So let's just throw this pitch. And up and in sinkers are going to be the method. That is the best way you're going to want to throw. I cannot hit. And also, in case you're wondering, like, how do I get better at pinpoint? The best way to get better at pinpoint is straight up practice. You just got to practice each pitch until you feel comfortable with it. And, you know, you got to time it better with each. It's different for every pitcher, how much time you have. And it's also different depending whether you're going out of the stretch or the windup. So you're going to want to get there. Josh Donaldson will make that play there. Easy little ground ball. Now, for real players, it is much harder to hit a sinker up in than a CPU. If you're playing against a CPU, I do not highly recommend throwing a bunch of sinkers up and in because they aren't going to work. Didn't mean to hit that button there. So, sinkers up and in aren't going to work as good against a CPU, but against a real player, they're ridiculously hard to hit. As you can see, this is on All-Star. It's just going to tail really hard up and in. It's going to be very difficult to hit, and if we quickly change the hitting difficulty, both to legend, that's going to be even harder to hit. So let's hit that. Let's try and hit that spot again, up and in with the sinker. We get 100% accuracy. Perfect pitch that time. That pitch is moving fast, and it is moving a lot. So that is a tough pitch to hit. Obviously, CPU can hit it, but it's harder for a real player to actually hit that. So we're just going to go down the Hall of Fame now, because I feel like Hall of Fame is probably the best chance in showing you, actually. All right, next pitch you're going to take a look at is slurve. And for the slurve and the slider, one big thing is you're going to want the pitch to end up on the down and away corner. So you're going to want to aim it right around there. So we get the perfect pitch there. It wasn't perfect, but it ended on the outside corner. If you throw a hard, good slider like DeGrom did in MLB Show 21, a good hard slider that starts up and in looks like a fastball or a sinker coming up and in. Because if you take a look at that pitch, it's boom. You took a good look at it. It's going to start in the same spot, but they're going to move completely differently. And honestly, the best places to throw sinkers is kind of all around this corner, except down. I feel like middle in right here, and if you mix that good with the slider, they look like the exact same pitch coming out of the hand. If you saw that pitch, take a good close look at it again, rewind the video, take a really good look at where that pitch started, and then take a really good look at where this pitch is going to start. They're going to start in very similar places, and boom, you can just, it's easy for the CPU to hit, but is not as easy for the actual batter to hit because they're going to be fooled looking for that sinker. Next pitch is the cutter. The cutter, I recommend you kind of try and backdoor it. Especially, not really do this often, but if you're good with pinpoint, try and backdoor down and in, and because that can be seriously nasty to face if you can hit it. And, you know, cutters are a simple pitch to try and get in. But any sort of backdoor cutter can be nasty. And if you throw the cutter and the cutter is moving hard enough, then it really does not matter your location. It's going to be a difficult pitch to hit no matter what. And if you can just backdoor that down and in corner, I'm usually better using the other not using that. I'm not all that good using classic. So we're just gonna turn pitch trail on. So we're gonna just turn that on so we can know where it's gonna end up. So it's just gonna be right down there, dotted up. Nope, we didn't dot it up. But when you do dot it up, you get that amazing pitch. Honestly, you can aim it right here. I don't know why Garrett Cole's control is so low right now. But if I got it there and per se gets up and in on him, then it's even better. So change up, there's really not a whole lot to do with the change up. The change up is just a solid pitch to mix up your pitches. It's really not a pitch you should be looking too deep into how to throw it. It's mostly just throw it low and make sure they're fooled. That is the biggest thing with the changeup that I can give. The best piece of advice I can give with changeups. And let's see. Let's dot that pitch up. Nope. And also, there is one thing. If you take a look at this circle around, if you take a look at the outline circle around the ball here, is you notice as you go up, the circle gets bigger. So it gets harder to throw a pitch in a good spot. That's why you want to find the spot where the circle is, where it can be pretty small. That means the circle is where the ball can go if you get a perfect pitch. And obviously, if you get the perfect pitch, it is helpful. And obviously, there's not really a ton of tips I can give for pinpoint pitching and how to get better at it. It's just simply practice. All right, I feel like we've gone over every pitch except the splitter. The splitter, very similar to changeup. I recommend only throwing this pitch when you have, this is more of a very good fifth pitch. So basically how you throw it is you go up here and back, and it's a little hard to throw, but once you get it down, you can get it down, and it is a nasty pitch if you can very much tunnel it. So now we're going to go strategically with an at-bat. We are going to start Altuve up with a sinker right here. We get this pitch perfect, then it's going to be a dot, and we didn't get it perfect, but that is still a very solid pitch. And even with sinkers in, I recommend you can still throw it on that part of the plate, even aim it outside, because it's going to tail that way a little bit. People are going to be more attentive to swing at it. It's going to step off because that's not the pitch I wanted to throw. I kind of want to save our sinker or our slurve for the next pitch. So we're going to try a cutter up and away, which is another pitch I didn't mention, but it's a very solid one nonetheless. We're going to get perfect there, and he's just going to ground that ball very, very weakly towards third base, and it's a nice, easy play. For the cutter up and away, it is honestly very, very difficult to hit that ball hard. Most of the balls, if anything, is going to be blooped over the right side of the infield, the left side of the infield's head, and boom. All right, we're going to start with him off with a changeup here. See if he'll go down and chase it. I think he might. All right, well, never mind. We're just going to dot him up there, right on the corner. That's a good pitch. Let's start with another sinker to right in this spot, and then we're probably going to move to the slurve if we get the strike call on this one, and we will get the strike call despite us messing up the pinpoint situation. So now we're going to go with the slurve. We're going to aim it right on the corner because even if it goes out or stays in, it's not going to be the biggest of deals. And we're going to get perfect, and it will be outside the zone and an absolute killer pitch. The sinker and the slurve or the slider are very similar pitches you have to mix together well. That way you can get that pitcher, that hitter looking for that sinker, and then you bust out a slurve on him, and it looks like the exact same pitch until it starts moving the other direction and becomes absolutely nasty. You're gonna be able to tell from the pitcher's standpoint what's gonna be happening. So if you see a guy who's late on a sinker, it's not really the best idea to go to a slurve unless you know he'll be early on the slurve. Now, I'm one of those guys, I'm not the best hitter. So what I do sometimes, I end up unfortunately doing is when I'm looking, I'm sending sinker right here, but then he goes to the slurve and I am 10 years early on it, but then I'm like, oh, gotta look out for that. And most of the time, I honestly, as a hitter, I just kind of ignore the curve entirely. So let's just do one strategical batter real quick. All right, let's do one strategical batter, 0-1. Cole, start with an outside cutter, that's a fine pitch. Nothing wrong with that. Now we're going to go down and in sinker. Down and in sinker, it's really hard to turn on, especially if the sinker is being thrown hard. And boom, it wasn't turned on at all. He was late on it. Going to get that play real quick, easily. All right, 0-0 count. We're going to start things off with a slurve here. See if he'll go down and fish for it. Let's hope he will. Going to get perfect pitch. He'll lay that one off. Surprisingly, most guys are gonna swing at that. Most actual guys are going to be swinging at that. Now, let's dot this next pitch up with Cole, and we did not dot that pitch up, and keep in mind, that this is a CPU, and with CPUs, honestly, I'm not even sure that should be a home run. That is a very early swing. there's something to keep in mind that is huge, and that is the fact that CPUs are going to hit this. So if you're playing offline, I recommend pitching to not pitching sinkers up, but pitching sinkers low. Sinkers low against CPU. Most chance will either swing and miss or ground it out. I just missed my spot there, plain and simple. I don't know why Garrett Cole's actual control is so poor. It should be better, but whatever. What you gonna do about it? Now we're gonna try a cutter down and away, and that is a pretty nasty pitch, and that will be a nice little ground out and easy little play. So if you did enjoy today's video and we're a little not sure, so actually I'm gonna switch pitchers real quick before we wrap up the video. I'm gonna switch pitchers to Luis Severino, who has a four-seamer. So the four-seam fastball, we're gonna go over that real quick because that's what most pitchers have. It's gonna be five locations you can throw this. You can throw it here, you can throw it here, you can throw it here, and you can throw it here. So actually 4 locations. You want to throw up and in. Up and in four-seamer can be filthy if I can locate a spot. I'm not used to hitting on this, pitching on this strike zone. So we're going to actually just go back to pitcher. The pitcher offset is what I use most of the time, and that's what I prefer to use. So we're going to go down and away here. See if Altuve goes chasing that, and he won't. Just lays that one off right off the corner. That's a pitch that is very difficult to lay off on the corner. And if we move into the middle in, and he'll lay everything off. Altuve will not swing the bat because he's a little short person that doesn't like doing that. And if we go up and in, and he's going to lay every single pitch off. I am going to quickly go to the circle change, just, so you can see. It is one of the more difficult pitches to throw, and if you're confused on how to throw it in pinpoint, you want to go up, around, and then you want to sit there, and then you want to go down. That is the way to throw that. All these pitches are just barely missing the strike zone. Don't know why everyone's control is so poor. But if you did enjoy today's video, did find it useful, make sure you like and subscribe. Best way to support the channel by far. I'm Untitled Gaming. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Thank you so much for watching.